This video will briefly examine how some countries implement decentralized education provisions. We will also consider issues and problems in this process and identify successful outcomes. Finland. Finland's education system in the 1960s was centralized, top-down, highly structured, monitored, and controlled. The detailed curriculum directed teaching. Finnish education was examination-driven. Teachers were closely monitored and had little opportunity for flexibility and were poorly trained. However, since the 1970s, Finland has undertaken fundamental shifts in education organization and process that have delivered improved results and impact. Over the last 20 years, Finland has consistently scored high on PISA tests. Today, Finland emphasizes quality, equality, and equity education. Everyone has equal access to quality education, and every student's learning and well-being needs are addressed through high-quality support and focused teaching. Everyone has opportunities to learn and be successful. Differences between schools across the country are minor. There is flexibility in the system, curriculum, and teaching approaches. The two highlights of the Finnish system's success related to decentralization are: first, teachers' quality and professional autonomy, and second, community focus and control through decentralization. Finnish teachers are highly qualified and professional. They are empowered with the flexibility to make professional research-based decisions in response to class and individual student needs. Teachers have autonomy in how and what they teach and can adapt the curriculum for students and the local situation. This autonomy fits under a highly decentralized approach to education where municipalities are autonomous education providers. Schools and teachers within municipalities decide their actions and are active in local planning. Education in each school is community-based and community-connected. The recent curriculum reform process between 2014 and 2017 reflects the decentralization of education and engagement by community stakeholders. It describes education authorities, school principals and teachers, parents, and students collaborating with central government administrators. The new curriculum presents the school as a learning community based on 4 pillars, which you can see in the picture. The school as a learning community is more than a pedagogical tool. Each school is community-based, controlled, and directed learning. The shift from highly centralized to decentralized education provision has not been without issues. First, the shift occurred over 50 years. Success requires a mature and stable system. Second, it requires highly trained, qualified, experienced, and professional teachers and administrators. Third, engagement and buy-in by the community, including parents, are essential for success. Engagement requires transparency, openness, and clear, respectful communication. And fourth, resource allocation from the central government to local municipalities is necessary. Budget constraints and financial inequities across the country can cause problems. Thailand and South Korea have similar laws and implementation approaches for central and local educational planning and operations. The new Thai constitution, implemented in 1997, emphasizes decentralization more than the previous, and the decentralization education policy has been in place for over 2 decades. South Korea has had similar policies, but for a longer period. South Korea has had more success than Thailand in activating decentralized education and has consistently achieved a high ranking in international education standards. Up until 2011, few schools in Thailand have transferred from the central government to local authorities. Other problems that Thailand continues to face despite the policies include: 1. Comparative low-quality education. 2. Educational inequality across the country. 3. A mismatch between education and community, social, religious, and cultural beliefs and needs. 4. Ongoing inefficiencies because of centralized administration. To address these issues, the Thai Office of Education Council implemented the second decade education reform between 2009 and 2018. One aspect of these reforms was to strengthen and increase decentralization and local and teacher autonomy. However, decentralized education provision has been less successful in Thailand than in South Korea. Thailand's traditional influences, such as deep-rooted authoritarian, paternalistic, and hierarchical bureaucratic governance, are strong, and reform is slow. In public schools, the central and local administrators dominate schools and teachers. Centralized control through curriculum and national examinations persists despite attempts at reform. But what does this mean? Numerous research-based reports over decades outline the advantages and opportunities of a decentralized approach to education provision. An effective decentralized approach to empowering schools and teachers results in better learning outcomes for the individual and the country. Most countries have aspects of decentralization policies, including giving authority and autonomy to regions, schools, and teachers. However, limited countries have achieved the ideals of a fully developed decentralized approach. Teachers need to be highly qualified and trained as professional decision makers. Achieving a practical decentralized approach to education provision takes time and requires building the capacity of all involved. These include educational administrators and policy developers in the national and regional governments, schools, principals and teachers, community members, and parents.